Welcome back to the Joyride podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Joy. I forgot for a second what I was supposed to say because it's been a while, you guys. It's been probably like a month, and I kind of was beating myself up a little bit because before I went on this month break, I was like, oh my God, I've been so consistent. I've been getting episodes up every Monday. And before we get into this episode, it's going to be all about eclipse season, how I've been feeling, the major themes that have been coming up for me. And I'm hoping that you're going to find a lot of resonance because, man, these eclipses, well, we've only had one. The second one's on Saturday. But the eclipse has been eclipsing. And that's where I've been. Like, it has just been a portal of energy. So before we talk all about the eclipses, something that I'm noticing within myself that I've noticed heavily over the past few months is when I'm not consistent with something, or I fall short on something, or something is just like not working out for me, I find this need to go into defense mode to try to get other people to understand why it hasn't been working out or why I haven't been putting my energy into it. And today, coming on the podcast for the first time in a month, I honestly just haven't really felt the call or the want or the need to like get on the mic and talk, just because I've been going through so much energetically. And for a while, it was like week after week, I was prioritizing this podcast, and my energy has just been shifting lately. I have been prioritizing my business and like really putting my full force of energy into that. But on that note, with giving your energy to things, through really understanding my human design, and this is something that I didn't even realize until now, until I saw someone else that I follow like post about. They had just created a podcast episode talking about their human design. They're a life coach, and I'm like, wait, I haven't even done a full episode talking about human design. Like, that's crazy. So that's probably going to be my next episode, talking about the human design system, why it will change your life, how it changes your life. But through understanding my own design, I've really not only been able to understand how my energy operates, but I feel less guilty about the way that it operates. So knowing that I have my ego defined, which, I mean, technically 50% of people don't have their ego defined, which is the heart center. It's what rules your values. It's what rules your desires. So most people are not designed, like me, to show up every single day just because we said that we were going to do it. So that's where consistency and discipline comes into play. So on one end, I'm like going full force, putting podcast episodes out every Monday, feeling so good about it, but also pouring all my energy into it. Also knowing that I'm a manifesting generator, that I can't just have one thing going on. That sounds horrible. Like, I need to have 7 or 8 things going on. So I can't be putting my consistent energy into every single thing. Like, it just is not humanly possible. So the last month, I've shifted my energy. And honestly, I really haven't even thought twice about this podcast. And I think that that's okay. And that's a point of me sharing my personal experiences with you, having this podcast in the first place. This is not supposed to be a robotic type of thing that like I put out and okay, like every single Monday I'm going to come out with an episode, like regardless of how I'm feeling. That is just not how I like to live my life. And it's something that I believe in with every fiber of my being, becoming so connected to spirituality, to the universe, to me, to my energy and how it operates. We have to be in flow. Like, we are not fucking robots on this earth who are supposed to go to work and only focus on work when we're there and do this and do that and be so regimented and so militant in every single thing that we do. Because when you are a celestial cosmic fucking being and you are connected to the energy of the universe that is so much like larger and grander than everything that's happening within you, sometimes you simply just can't. And I'm sure, as you are all aware of now, like what has been happening in the Middle East, I'm Jewish. I've been to Israel. I really, for probably the first time ever in my life, through all of these like catastrophic events happening with Israel, with Hamas, with Gaza, with like everything in Palestine and everything happening, it has taken me a second to simply just ground back into my body, because through seeing all of these events happen, I have felt so deeply affected in a way that I truly didn't even know was possible. So that happening, and then the first eclipse happening, and just being triggered by so many different things, just, oh my gosh, so much energy. And I've had so many thoughts throughout this month, and I always feel this way, but particularly in this month, going from this massive retrograde season to this eclipse season with these two eclipses, with all these major like grand events happening that are so insane and are truly literally flipping our entire world upside down. I have sat here and thought to myself, thank God that I allow myself to give myself the grace to know when to pour in, when to push, when to go, and when to take a step back. I just want to be here to remind you, not only through me sharing like, oh, this is why I haven't posted a fucking, podcast episode in a month. Like, who gives a shit about that? I'm here to remind you to take a second. Like, please take a second, take a step back. The world is going to continue to move on without you. And I don't mean that in a negative or bad way. I mean that in the sense of you are a human being. You have to take care of yourself. And there are simply days, and I know that you can relate to this. There are days where it feels like even washing a dish, even like folding a load of laundry, even calling your mom, calling a friend, whatever, feels like the weight of the world. And this is not to say that you're depressed. This is not to say like, oh my God, what was me, blah, blah, blah. But I get it. There are simply some days where all I can do is take care of Rebecca. I don't want to do any work. I sure as hell don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to work out. I want to read. I want to journal. I want to pour into me, because life is lifing. And especially as an adult, there are some days where I'm just like, ugh, I have to like wash my dishes and clean and do this and call this person and blah, blah, blah. And there's so much pressure. There's so much pressure on us. And on top of that, we have to work and we have to show up and we have to care for our kids and care for our partner and make money. And it's just a lot. So when we are going through these incredibly activated, potent times in history, like the events that are taking place right now, give yourself some gentle grace and remind yourself that you need to do whatever you feel like you need to do to make yourself feel okay, to make yourself feel grounded in your body. And your friends are going to be okay, I promise you. Your siblings, your partner, all these people, they're going to be okay. But you can't continue to take care of other people unless you take care of yourself first. So there's that. Okay, now let's get into eclipse season. So over summer, we went through a massive retrograde season. Then we had Virgo season. And then we moved into Libra season. So Libra season, well, let's talk a little bit about your astrological chart and how you personally are affected with how everything changes. So this is why I personally love to utilize both the human design system and astrology. Astrology was like my first love. It's the first thing that I got into, to the point where I'd meet a new person, especially men, and I'd be like, what's your sign? What's your sun, moon, and rising? And, if I could like find out their birth time, I'm basically sitting there like, I know everything about you. It was my first love. I thought it was so cool. But I really didn't get too into depth beyond your sun, moon, and rising. I honestly had no idea that you had every single zodiac sign in your astrological chart, and that there are all these houses, and then there's themes, and then there's different archetypes and all this stuff. And it was like, whoa, what the hell? Like my mind was just blown. But I like it so much because the way that I think of it is, so you have if you look at your astrological chart, okay? Like for instance, I've got my sun in Virgo, my moon is in Gemini, and my Cancer, and my rising is in Cancer. Okay, but then I have all of these other zodiac placements in different houses. So for me, the majority of my placements happen to be in the sign of Libra. So during Libra season, I was incredibly activated by what was happening, because of the placements that are in the house of Libra for me. For example, my North Node, which is where my soul wants to go, is in Libra. Sorry, did I say South Node? My North Node is in Libra. My South Node is in Aries. Okay, that's where my soul has come from. But with that being said, for all of us right now, the nodes I can't remember off the top of my head what they just moved out of the two signs, but the two signs that they moved into, the North Node is in Aries and the South Node is in Libra. So it's flipped for me. So my North Node was incredibly activated during Libra season. In addition to that, I've got my Mercury, which is what rules communication in Libra. I've got maybe like one or two other placements that are not coming to the top of my head in Libra, but one that is very activated, that was very activated for me, and this last eclipse was my Chiron, which is the wounded healer in Libra. And Libra is all about balance. It's all about harmony. It's all about equilibrium, balance, putting the other before yourself, selflessness. It's also an air sign, which is a mental sign. So for me, man, I was in my head during Libra season. Like I can't even begin. I'm closing my eyes right now as I'm recording this, like trying to channel like exactly what I was feeling. It was just a lot. It was so much mental stimulation. On top of that, something with like my Chiron being in Libra. So all of these placements in Libra are in a certain house. So the house that they're all in are, for me, the house of family, the house of home, the house of relationships. So something that came across very clearly for me was some wounds that I've still yet to heal from my childhood in regards to not feeling chosen by certain friends and people in my life. On top of that, it's Libra season. So I naturally, and I have a lot of gifts in both my astrological chart and my human design chart that show that I'm a nurturer. I'm very caring. I'm very empathic. Being very empathic is something that I've actually had to get used to. I've never really seen myself personally as being very empathic. I think that I've like overshadowed that energy with, I don't know, just being, I guess, so incredibly in tune with my own emotions. So that's something that I've had to get used to for myself, is knowing like you're actually incredibly empathic and you want to put the other person first. But coming from my Aries, my South Node, it's like me. I'm the leader here. I'm just going to like act and move from a space of like selfishness. Sorry. Tongue twister there. Which is not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. I think Aries are fucking powerhouses. But Aries specifically were really triggering me during this first eclipse. So what is an eclipse? I'm not going to give you all the like scientific NASA knowledge about what it is, because honestly, I don't even know. I just know that it's like an object in space passes over another object in space to create some type of like shadow effect. I know that with this first eclipse, apparently it was like so insanely bright that you had to wear glasses or something to see it. I don't know. But yeah, the first eclipse was it in Libra? Why am I like getting so mixed up right now? I feel like there's just been so much happening that I'm like, where are we? What's happening? But that's another side effect of this eclipse season. We almost feel like we're not on steady ground. This is just such an activated, potent time because of the massive and the rapid shifts and changes that are happening for us all so quickly. I like to think of it as you open one door and like immediately another door opens. Like there's not even time for you to like, okay, take a breather, take a step back. It's just like once you open that door, like whoosh, like another door automatically opens. So things are quick and things are rapid right now, and it's like we're all just lacking this time in between to recalibrate and to really get centered. So that's something to just be mindful of. And what I love about astrology is, yes, I just realized that I went off on a whole tangent and didn't even tell you why I love human design and astrology. This is what I do. This is my manifesting generator brain. I like think too fast for my thoughts to catch up to my words sometimes. But basically, I like it because you have all these placements, but everything is always shifting. And so different aspects of you, different themes of your life, different energies and archetypes that you harnessed are going to be illuminated and highlighted at different parts, like throughout the year, basically. But I like it so much with human design because human design allows you to get really, really micro as to how your energy is operating. Like, I know that I'm a manifesting generator. I know that my energy is all over the place, that I move super, super quickly. I move from one thing to the next, and I like to have like a million things going on at once. But I also know that I'm an emotional that's never going to change. And I know that I'm a 6'2", so I'm here to be an example for other people. Like, I love human design so much because anytime something's happening where I'm feeling rocky, I'm feeling just not steady, I can come back to my chart and be like, okay, I got you. Like, this is who you are. This is how your energy operates. So maybe you've been trying to do certain things in one way, but let's go back to what really, really feels true and what feels aligned for you. Now we combine that with astrology and it allows us to get a little bit more macro. So like, what are the themes of your life with money, with your family, with your career, with like really activating those gifts that we see in your human design chart? So something for me, like that really came to the surface for me in this Libra season, which is all about, again, balance, harmony, partnership, collaboration, unity, putting the other person before yourself. I'm a Cancer rising. It's funny because I've always seen myself as like, I'm such a Virgo. Like, I'm so like in my head. I like to be grounded, very practical, very reliable. Like, I think that I'm better than everyone else. Yes, like I definitely do see myself as a Virgo, but with your rising sign, that is how other people see you. So when I'm in session with someone, I always like to bring up the human design profile and say the first number, which for me is my 6. It's the role model energy. This is how I see myself. I've always seen myself as a role model. I've always seen myself as the Virgo. Now the number on the outside for me, it's the 2, which is the natural, which is the hermit. Like, I see such a resemblance between my 2 energy and Cancer energy. Cancer energy is the crab. It's very like, growing up, I swear to God, for my entire life, I've had so many girlfriends tell me like, yeah, I was like scared of you before I met you, and then you were just like the sweetest, nicest person ever. And I'm like, wait, why were you scared of me? Like, I was always a girl that had, you know, crazy resting bitch face, and I always looked so hard. And I really, really, really align with my Cancer rising now. Like, I'm such a night girl. I've always had conversations with the moon, and I never knew why, but the Cancer sign is ruled by La Luna, which is the moon. So, like, what's so cool about knowing all of this incredible information about yourself is it's not like, okay, we're heading into Libra season and I'm thinking to myself, oh, because it's Libra season, like this is going to pop up for me. This is what's going to pop up for me. This is what I'm going to have to deal with and blah, blah, blah. No, it's like I didn't even really know these things until they did just naturally pop up, because that's just what happens, because these things were being activated in my chart. And then I got to take the steps backwards and say like, oh, this is why my inner child is needing a lot of fucking love right now. This is why I'm feeling so emotional and feeling so sensitive towards new friends in my life, feeling like they aren't choosing me, because I dealt with all of that growing up, and those are all old childhood wounds that apparently I still have yet to truly, truly heal. Like, for me, my confidence in myself has been built off of two major themes: not being chosen by men and not being chosen by friends. Mix in with that falling in love with the gym, like falling in love with my physical body and what it embodies and how I represent my physical body. So we'll kind of say it's 3, but like on a more like area level of depth here, let's say it's this art of like not being chosen. So I went through all of that throughout, I want to say really not so much middle school. Middle school, I felt a lot of these like these messages and these feelings of deep resentment towards a lot of friends that I felt were copying me. Lots of like themes around jealousy. But in high school, I suffered immensely with never ever feeling like the chosen friend. Same thing in college. Like, it really did something to me, and through those experiences, like, I can't even remember one day where I was just like, fuck this, I'm over this feeling, I'm over crying on my birthday, I'm over feeling like just so shitty about not being the chosen one. So yeah, there was never really like a day specifically, but I do know that that was such an important period of my life, because I got to this point where I just decided to put myself first. And that's how I really started to begin this journey of falling in love with myself, of me choosing myself, of me being my number one priority in my life. And that's when I like really got heavily into fitness and personal development work, which spiraled into like spirituality and unlocking all of these things in me. And it's something that I know personally, I have been acting from this space of like, I got me and I don't fucking need anyone else for a long time. And to be honest, I'm really over it. Like, spending my birthday, I mean, I spent it with friends over the weekend, but I spent my actual birthday alone. Like, I got to this point where I was like, yeah, I'm really just like done. And I didn't realize that I still had to heal all of these old wounds that were still in my system until they came to the surface during this Libra season and this first eclipse, where I'm like, oh yeah, this is being played out yet again, like 15 years later. And like, I don't like it. I really, really don't like this feeling. And because all of these old wounds were brought to the surface around friends, feeling jealous of like not being chosen by people, like inner child shit that I still have yet to deal with. And then also really harnessing this beautiful energy of what the Cancer energy symbolizes. Cancer is the nurturer. Like, Cancer wants to nurture people. Cancer is like home. Cancer is depth. It's a water sign. Super sensitive, super empathic. So during this first eclipse, I'm thinking mentally, I'm in my head about all this stuff because, again, Libra is an air sign, it's a mental sign. I'm thinking about all these other people and I'm like, wait, whoa, this is weird. Like, I'm so used to just like thinking only about myself, which again is not a bad thing, but it's how I've been conditioned, how I've conditioned myself for a very, very long time. And I'm, it's not like I think that this energy is bad. Like, I'm really, really proud of the fact that I'm so dependent on just myself and like, I got me and like, I'm good emotionally wise. But for one of the first times I was like talking to my friend Eric, who's a coach, and I'm like, wait, this is so weird. Like, we had an event together and I'm thinking about everyone else and how they're going to feel and how they're going to do and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, how does that make you feel? And I'm like, it's just weird because I'm thinking about everyone else besides myself, but I'm also feeling overly sensitive and overly cautious about everyone else. So that was an interesting, it was just a few weeks of very like interesting feelings. I just couldn't shake this energy of getting so angry and so upset at the things that I was seeing online that people were posting on social media. And it's weird because none of this really had to do with like my core friends in my life. this was being brought up through like new people that I've met recently, that I met them and I felt this vibe between us, like, ooh, you know, we're going to be friends. And then I don't hear from them. And then I don't get chosen. And I'm like, wait, what did I do? Was I like too nice up front and too nurturing and too sensitive? But it also allowed me to really be in that energy and really just own all of these gifts of mine. Like, you know what? I'm actually, like, I love that I'm such a nurturer, and I love that I'm so caring, and I'm so sensitive, right? Like, and I love that I really, really care about other people. And like, hell fucking yeah, I am empathic, but I can also be super, super duper connected to my emotionality and my humility and just owning my emotions. So that was Libra season. A lot of work around childhood wounds. Now, we're now in Scorpio season, which I love. I have got a few signs that are in Scorpio. I believe it's my Mars and Pluto, which are like the planets of action, the planets of like, I think it's like action, how you like assert yourself, power, aggression, blah, blah, blah. And I've been seeing the funniest memes online about like moving from Libra season, which to me is all about like balance and harmony and like, you know, just equilibrium and making sure that like we're all together in partnership and like seeing the other side of things. In Scorpio, that's like, give me your fucking soul already. Like, I feel it so deeply and it resonates with me so much. And there's just this beautiful element of mystery with Scorpios. My best friend Casey, who you guys have heard on the podcast, is a Scorpio. And I tell her all the time, she's also an emotional and human design. I'm like, Casey, I can ask you how you're feeling. And she'll be like, I'm fine. And I'm like, I know that there's just so much that she's not telling me. And obviously I know so much about her. But anytime she gives up like a little bit of information about herself, I'm like, ooh. Like, I gotta savor this, because she just naturally gives off such a mysterious vibe. Like, I truly never know what the hell is happening with her. And me, on the other hand, I'm just like imploding on her, like every single emotion, every single feeling, like just so fucking sensitive. But I love it because that's Scorpio energy. So Scorpios, the theme around Scorpio season is like sex, death, birth, transformation. Almost like regeneration in a sense, like literally purging and death and just like new cycles, new beginnings, like closing out old chapters and bringing in the new, but like getting to the rawness of whatever is happening. And I felt like in Libra season, I just like cared about everyone almost too much, where it was like debilitating me for sure. And now that it's Scorpio season, I'm like, I actually don't give a fuck about any of y'all. Like, it is just so comical to me, like, to sit here and to just look at myself and to really think like, God, Rebecca, you were stressing for weeks. Like, you were so sensitive and you were so emotional over these things for what? Like, literally for what? It actually, I think, is so comical to me. And now that we're in Scorpio season, I don't think I've hit like the depth part of it yet, but I think that I will, because I'm supposed to be getting my period next week. So I can just imagine myself going through like this full blown in a portal transformation, emotional, sobbing, the whole thing, which like I love and I live for that. But yeah, so Scorpio season, that's what we're in right now. And then we have our second eclipse in Taurus on Saturday. So I think this episode is going to come out tomorrow, because I definitely want you guys to listen to it before the eclipse happens. Now, also, let's kind of backtrack here. There are just like always things happening, and I don't want this to scare you. But again, going back to what I first talked about when we opened this episode was like, you're not a fucking robot. It is okay to feel whatever you feel, even if it's not yours. Like, I know everyone listening to this has open energy in their chart somewhere, whether you like know about your human design or not. There are places naturally where we are all intaking energy from other people. Even if you don't want to, naturally you just are doing that. So with with knowing that things are always changing, always shifting, just like be okay with feeling whatever you're feeling. Again, even if it's not yours, like that is just naturally going to happen sometimes. And again, this is why knowing this information about yourself is so incredibly helpful, because I really view it as like your armor. Like there are just times in life where when it rains, it pours, shit hits the fucking fan. Trust me, this week I've had so many moments where I'm like, oh my God, like how? Literally, God, how? How am I going to do this? How am I going to make it out alive? How? Just a big question mark. But going back to understanding my energy, how I operate, what I'm good at, what the themes of my life are, it really helps ease things. And not to put a Band-Aid on anything, that's not like what I'm trying to get at. It just helps like ease this pressure and remind me that I'm a human being and I'm allowed to feel all these things that I feel. And these things, because I am so connected, are gonna come up to the surface. And I actually loved that in Libra season, I was like so disgustingly emotional and sensitive over these probably like minuscule, I mean, they weren't minuscule, but to me, they were like these things that, you know, were not that big of a deal, but they became such a big deal. And it just showed me like, cool, okay, we still have some healing to do. So I had to do a lot of healing. But I first had to recognize what the fuck is happening here. Why am I still being triggered as a 28-year-old woman who is so confident in herself? Why am I still being triggered by these other girls not choosing me? Like, I don't want to feel that way. That sucks. It's shitty. I've already gone through that, you know, in my past life. Like, it sucks. Okay, so let's heal it and let's figure out how to move on. And that's okay. It's nice when you have things come to the surface, because it's like, oh, that's okay, girlfriend. Like we still got some work to do. And that's the point of this human experience. Like beyond just all of these like emotional, you know, sensitive issues and wounds and healing that are coming up, just think about things that you want in your life. If you were to wake up tomorrow and be given everything, the dream house, the dream car, the dream career, the dream man, everything, there would just be no point of life. And that's a message that I'm constantly reminding myself of, because trust me when I say this morning I woke up, we'll get into what the Taurus themes are, but I woke up and I literally felt like I had this parasite of fear within me. Like I wake up pretty regularly with this fear around money. I am still working on removing money blocks, but to me that's like one of my biggest wounds that I just like hold in my body, and I'm still working at it. But it came up this morning and I was like in the gym running it out, and then I stopped and was doing some weight training. And my stomach hurt so bad, and it literally felt like this fear was just in my body. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? But also I know that we are just all being so activated right now because of the eclipses. And it's not only just the eclipse itself, there are shadow periods. So it's not just like, okay, the eclipse happens this Saturday, which is what? Today's Thursday, the 26th. It's happening on the 28th. Okay, great. The eclipse is happening on the 28th. Cool. No, it's like there's a shadow period before, there's a shadow period after, and then like God knows what's going to happen after. Again, this is not to scare you. Like, not everything is bad. I'm just saying that a lot of crazy shit has been happening lately, and that's the point of these eclipses. They bring whatever is needed that has not been healed to the surface. It's literally being highlighted. It's being eliminated. Doors are opening super quickly. Doors are closing. We're in a portal. Like new changes are happening like that. So quickly where you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm just in outer space. That's normal. So I'm here to give you some loving and some support to, again, just say, feel whatever the fuck you gotta feel. And also pour into yourself in the ways that feel really, really aligned for you. For me, in Libra season, I really felt this need to like be in meditation and journal and just to like figure out in my head, okay, like what's happening now? How can we simmer down the situation? What type of work do we need to be doing to get ourselves to feel a little more mentally clear now that we are in Scorpio season, which is a water sign, and this eclipse happening on Saturday is in Taurus. Taurus is an earth sign. So to me, I think of like the earth signs just like rule the physical body. Taurus especially is like the symbol of like the physical body. And also Virgo has a lot to do with physical health. So Taurus, the themes there are like, there's almost this sense of like rigidity and stubbornness and like not wanting to move, but also Taurus is all about like money and aesthetics and luxury and again like the physical body. And I'm trying to think of, I always get them mixed up. I think Taurus is, which one sorry guys, you would think that I would know this by now. I was just like in a portal channeling all that information. Now I'm like coming back down to earth. I think Aries is the ram or the bull. I don't know. Taurus is just like, I need to look this up because this is really gonna bother me. Okay, Taurus is the sign of the bull, which is what I thought. Aries is the sign of the ram. But basically some themes around Taurus are like sensuality. I never know how to say this word. Pragmatism, being pragmatic, resilient. It's an earth sign. Again, there's like this stubbornness energy of not wanting to move. So I think with this eclipse on Saturday that there are going to be a lot of themes coming to the surface of where are you feeling almost like I'm so stuck and like I simply can't move, and it's so hard for me to move, but also knowing intuitively, intrinsically, like I have to make these changes in my life in order to move. Also, let me just throw in some like woo-woo shit that's been coming to me lately. So I like over this entire eclipse season, I have felt so glued to my bed. Literally, I'm trying so hard to get back into a routine because I do so well when I have a structured routine in the morning. But I've never in my life dealt with like, okay, I'm setting my alarm for 6 and I'm not getting out of bed till 8. Like it's literally crazy, but I'm just rolling with it because I'm like, fuck this. We're in eclipse season. We're in a portal. I'm just gonna like let my body do whatever it feels like it needs to do. But that lots of insomnia. Just watch out for like digestive issues within your health. I know for me that's been coming up a lot lately. Like things have been weird with my digestive system. Again, Virgo is like all about bodily health, and Taurus, there's like similar themes there with really paying attention to your physical health and well-being, like health and wellness. Also, my skin, you guys, has not looked this terrible in quite a while. I went and got acupuncture last Friday, which I hadn't gotten done in maybe 4 or 5 months. Like, it's been a long ass time because I honestly didn't feel like I needed it. And I swear, I usually after those appointments feel just like lighter. I'm in the clouds. Everything feels easy breezy and I feel super peaceful and super good. No, not after this appointment. I was texting a friend who also gets acupuncture done. And I'm like, have you ever felt like literally just all of your shit as being purged and brought to the surface? And she's like, no. I'm like, well, that's how it felt like for me. I felt super flu-like and sick on Friday. And I really think that the last eclipse was all about like mental instability. And this eclipse, what I'm sensing, is all about our physicality, our like literal physical bodies and the well-being of our physical bodies. My skin has been breaking out like crazy. I just am feeling things in my physical body. Whereas again, in this last eclipse, I was feeling everything mentally in my head and not really I don't know, there just wasn't like a huge emphasis on my physical body. And now moving into the second eclipse, it's felt like I could just like literally lay in bed all day. And it's not a depressive energy, it's just I'm feeling glued to my bed. And whatever I try to do to get myself out of my bed, it's just not working. So what other themes have been coming up? Just watching out for what you're feeling physically, health-wise, just being very in tune with that. Try to eat as clean as possible. Again, do whatever you know intuitively makes you feel really, really good. Maybe like, up some things that you don't usually take as much as. I mean, we're also like approaching, quote unquote flu season, whatever. But I truly think with these eclipses, things, whether that's mentally old wounds you haven't truly healed from or like ailments in the body are just coming to the surface. Like I know for me, I'm like, oh, things are just being brought to the surface and it's being pushed out through my skin. But like it's all good because I'm doing all the same shit and I always take care of myself. Just if this is what needs to be done to be purged and detoxed out of my body, like sure, I don't love it that my half of my face is breaking out right now, but I'm like, it is what it is and I'll deal with it. But as I was saying this morning, I woke up and I just felt this like pit in my stomach with fear. And I'm like, ooh, I know with this eclipse happening in 2 days that for me personally, the light is being shined on these wounds and this fear that I have around money, around making money, around receiving money, around feeling safe, feeling secure with money, to the point where, again, I was in the gym this morning and I literally felt like there's a fucking parasite in my body. The parasite is named Mr. Fear, and it's all around fear and lack mindset in regards to money. So what I would recommend to you right now is, again, you gotta just let things come to the surface. First of all, don't be scared of things. This is the time to really like be your own ally and to say like, okay, whatever comes to the surface, I'm going to deal with it head on and it's going to be okay. I'm going to be able to get through it, but also divulge in practices that you are feeling called to do. Like right now, I don't think that you should be putting more of an emphasis on like the mental stimulating activities. I think personally it would do you more, it would do you better to engage in like physical activities to move this physical energy out of your body. For me, it's always been working out. Like before I got into meditating and journaling and like all of these other millions of things that I do, I know at the root of everything, if I had to give up everything and I can only do one thing, I would work out. I used to be the girl that like lived in the gym. I would be there 2 hours a day and honestly I looked fucking amazing. But now I do everything. So I don't spend 2 hours in the gym, but I also know that during a time like this, it's like, okay, like I can put down the pen. I mean, this morning I woke up and I just like got on my computer and just like brain dumped a lot of stuff, but honestly, like it helped in the moment, but what really helped was getting my physical body in the gym and like moving this physical energy out of my body and sweating and just like running to the point where I felt like I was going to scream because there was so much rage inside of me. That is what I would recommend for you right now. So anything physical, whether that's grounding, going out, outside and like putting your feet in the dirt, on the ground, in the sand, wherever the heck you are, like getting yourself connected to earth because Taurus is an earth sign, moving energy just through the body, whether that's through like literally getting a massage. Also, Taurus like loves luxury things. So like getting a facial, getting a massage, getting some body work done. Like they love like all the like riches and luxurious activities. So like go have yourself a nice fucking spa day. Anything just involves the body. So again, like working out, some yoga, even like sitting in the sauna, like sweating out, going to the cold plunge. That is what I would tell you right now as a recommendation, just to like focus on the physical body like things instead of, and of course, if you are feeling called like, no, I just want to be like deep into meditation and journaling. I know that for me, like it's not gonna serve me as much as being in the gym for a little bit longer now and like sweating out and running out and doing whatever I need to do to not like push past that fear that I'm feeling. Because also something that's been coming to the surface for me lately is this relationship between our ego and our heart. So we always want to be moving from a space from love, which is from the heart. You know, our soul desires come from the heart space. They don't come from the ego. But the ego is something that we can't just ignore. Like, we have to acknowledge what our ego is telling us, the fears that are coming up, the anxieties, the stressors, because it's always going to be a part of us. And I think, not unfortunately, but there's a lot of people in the spiritual wellness realm who just kind of like shy away from the ego. And then there's other people who are like, you got to go deep into like the shadow work and ego work and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, for sure, I agree with that. But also it's a lot. Like during Libra season, I did an inner child meditation. I was sobbing on my couch and I was like, whoa, that was a lot of energy. I like can't do anything like that for a while because it just took a lot out of me. But with the ego, something that I've been ruminating on is, okay, there's always going to be fear there. There's always going to be something that's going to come up for me. And it's not like, yes, there's always healing and there's always work to be done here. It's not like, okay, I'm this perfect human and we get to this point where it's like, I've been healed of everything and like there's nothing else to worry about. But I also am really leaning into like I can give a lot of this stuff to God. I can give a lot of my shit to like a higher power that's beyond me, because I'm here to lead with love and I'm here to live an abundant, rich, full ass fucking life. But also there are things that, yes, I still need to heal from that will continue to come to the surface if I've not yet healed from it. But the ego, especially, like, we have to acknowledge it. It's almost kind of like that annoying ass friend or, you know, that person in the group. It's like, you gotta acknowledge them. You don't have to listen to them. And thinking about like what people, you know, their opinions that they give you and judgments that they share with you. Like, everyone is always going to feel a certain type of way about themselves and they're going to project that through you. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to literally take what they say and implement it into your life. But we also need to acknowledge them. We can't just like be going around like with blinders on, ignoring everyone. I know that I definitely have gone through times in my life where, like, I remember there was this one phase in my life where I decided to do something and I told my parents afterwards, and usually before I would like get my parents, not like, well, sometimes I would want their like okay on everything before I would do something, but I moved from a space of needing to consult my parents before I did anything to this space of, well, I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I want and then I'll tell you afterwards. And I remember my mom was saying like, well, what? I can't even like express my opinion. And I was like, no, I didn't ask for it. And at the time that felt really aligned for me to just do exactly what I want to do. But now I'm moving from more of a balanced state. I think that's like where my Libra North Node is reaching into is, Rebecca, you can't just like go around ignoring everyone. Okay, it doesn't work like that. People are going to always have their opinions and have their own perspectives and their own judgments on things. But also, just because they think a certain way, that doesn't mean that it has to affect me, right? That doesn't mean that, you know, just because I think you should do something, if that doesn't feel aligned for you, like, hell, don't do it. Like, but I still am allowed to have my opinions. Now, I'm definitely not someone who feels the need to be voicing all those opinions and my perspectives and my judgments towards everyone, which we all know people who it feels like, can't you just shut the fuck up sometimes? Like, I really didn't ask for your opinion. Thank you so much. So it's kind of how I feel about the ego. Like, when I'm feeling in these spaces like this morning where it's just like, oh my God, I'm waking up and my whole entire body is consumed with like fear and lack and just like, why? I just have to remind myself, I'm like, bitch, it's just your ego. Like, it's just your ego. So literally this morning, I just got on my computer and my moon is in Gemini. So I like need to be communicating about literally every single thing that I'm feeling. And I communicate with myself a lot through talking out loud. I will voice memo myself. Having this podcast is so helpful for me because I personally work through so much of my shit when I get on here, which is so great. But also, like, I'll give myself just like free time to write. So I got on my computer this morning and I wrote out like everything that just felt like it was like this perpetual doom. It was this impending doom, like so much fear and like, why God? And like, why is this happening? And why am I feeling this way? And I wrote out this whole long like letter. And then in the next letter, because I felt so much more clear, I wrote from a space of what feels safe for me right now? Like what are the affirmations? What are the words? What is the reality that I want to construct for myself to feel safe right now? And I gave myself kind of like an element of polarity there with the black and the white being like so just negative mindset wise, again, because I think a lot of us, we're so conditioned to just like skip over the negative feelings, skip over the feelings that honestly feel really fucking scary and uncomfortable, and those feelings of lack and fear and stress and anxiety and just like dis-ease in our body and not feeling safe and in danger at the end of the day. Like we have to acknowledge those feelings. We can't just like, ooh, we're just gonna skip all over it and like go to like the sunshines and the rainbows and like stare at ourselves in the mirror and be like, oh my God, I'm so abundant. Like it doesn't work like that. You get there by acknowledging the ego, by saying like, hey, I see you and I hear you, but also I'm consciously choosing not to believe in you, because the ego doesn't want you to win. Like it just doesn't. The ego doesn't want you to be healthy. It doesn't want you to be safe. It doesn't want you to be abundant. It doesn't want you to be in love. It doesn't want you to, be that person that's making millions of dollars and receiving like by living out the career of their dreams. It just doesn't want you to. It wants you to stay safe. It wants you to stay in your little tiny comfort zone, because that's what the ego does. So something that has been working great for me is just acknowledging that ego. And I will literally sit there when I'm having a hard time throughout the day and say to myself, again, like, Rebecca, it's just your ego talking. Chill out. Like, it's always going to be a part of you. So we're either gonna recognize it, gonna acknowledge it and say like, okay, I understand that you're there, but also consciously choose not to move from this nasty place that the ego is always trying to put me in. Because at the end of the day, like, we're all here to create. We're all here to, again, live our most rich, abundant, beautiful, healed lives. But there's always going to be something that's going to come to the surface for us, that's going to bug us, that's going to say like, hey, you haven't healed from this yet, or the ego's going to, turn up the volume a little bit. That's just a part of life. So this episode is a lot longer. I'm like, I'm going to like sit on the mic. I'm just going to like talk about eclipse season, blah, blah, blah. This is going to be like 20, 30 minutes. Here we are, like almost at an hour. And at this point, my brain can't think of anything else that I want to tell you guys. But I want to end on this note. You got it. You got it. That's the ending message. Like, you're going to be okay. We got you. I got you. Even if you've never met me and this is the first episode that you're listening to of the Joyride and you're like, who the fuck is this bitch? I am just sending a lot of love your way, sending a lot of light your way. We're almost out of eclipse season. We're going to get back to normal. It's going to be the holiday season. We get to be around all of our family and our friends. And then it's going to be 2024. Like, 2024 is going to be a massively rich and abundant life. I held an event last week, and I threw this like human design astrology panel with my friend Eric. And one of the panelists was talking about how literally collectively we're moving from 3D consciousness to 4D consciousness. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I just love this for all of us right now. I truly, truly feel like these eclipses, why they are truly shaking all of us to our core, is because we are shedding old layers right now. Again, we're like purging right now. We're detoxing right now. Things that have been in our systems are being taken out. And we are making so much space in our physical entity, in our celestial bodies, for all of the new energy. Like, our cells are literally being upgraded right now. So sleep as much as you need. Take as much time for yourself as you need. Obviously, you got to be a functioning human being. So do what you have to do to support yourself. But cancel the plans, like take a little bit longer to respond to people. Again, people are going to move on without you, and it's going to be okay. So take this time to really, really focus on yourself and give yourself that extra love. And if you need, a support system, if you need a guide, if you need some help, I am opening up finally opening up my schedule again for new long-term coaching clients with my new brand, Mind, Body, Joy, the method, which I didn't even get to talk about in this episode. We'll save that for another day. But I am here for you if you need some guidance, if you need some support. We all got this. We are in this together. And I love you because I'm here to send you love and I'm here to send you light. And that's all that I got for you. It's also Thursday. It's a Jupiter day. It's an abundant day. So go have an abundant Thursday. And I will see you in the next episode. Thanks so much for listening to this long ass episode.